Welcome everybody to the Chofetz Chaim said what? And we will start with a Q&A. This one seems intriguing just by the title. So it says, when an honest answer seems impossible. If you feel uncomfortable and you don't want to give an answer, no problem. Otherwise, you can take yourself off mute when you do have an answer. All right. It was obvious that my sister Chaya was having problems with her marriage when she and her husband separated for a while. Although the situation still isn't simple, the couple is living together now and are getting help from their Rav and therapist. Simi, one of Chaya's friends who knew about the separation, meets me every now and then in local stores and community functions and always asks about Chaya. I know she's genuinely concerned, but I know I shouldn't discuss Chaya's personal life with anyone when there's no reason for it. Question: how can I answer Simi when she asks me, how is your sister Chaya managing, or is her marriage okay? Ooh. Welcome, Dad. Thank you for joining. If you have an answer, you could take yourself off of mute. Or just a comment.
You say Baruch Hashem.
Baruch Hashem. That's always a great answer because it never really says anything, but you're thanking God. So that's always a good answer, for sure, for sure. Just yell at her. It's none of your business, stupid. No, I'm just kidding. Chas Hashem. Because that's onas devarim, right? That's hurtful speech. have to put those examples in. So little reminders. Does anyone else have a different answer? Do you think you should be able to give over a certain amount of information or certain things, or tell her off? Welcome, Mom. I think Baruch Hashem is a great answer. Like I said, it doesn't really answer the question, but we're also thanking Hashem. And there's also, she doesn't have a toelas, right? There's no constructive purpose in giving over this information, right? She said right at the end, there's no reason for it. So I guess she's trying to give an answer without, I guess, giving more information than she should. And we did mention before that you're allowed to lie for the sake of peace, right? When it came to, Hashem, lying or, leaving out information for when it came to Sarah and Abraham, right? Sarah Imenu. Sarah said, I'm old and my husband is old. How can I have a child, right? When they were given the news of them having a child. And when Hashem told this information over to Abraham, he left out the part of her saying, my husband is old, right? And that was an indication that you're allowed to leave out certain information. You're allowed to lie for the sake of peace. So I think in this case, it really is none of her business. And you don't want to give over more information than you should, or give any negative information on one side. You don't have to always be truthful. And so I don't think she should say, oh yeah, they're getting counseling, right? Because there's really no purpose unless she knows of a therapist or she herself is a therapist and she's able to help in some way. So let's see what they say. Let's see what the answer is. If there's something positive to say, there's no reason you can't share the positive. Okay, that's good. You can say, Baruch Hashem, they're together and Chai is managing beautifully. I personally think that might be a little too much information, but she might have a close relationship with this woman, Simi. But there's definitely that Baruch Hashem in there, right, Dad? My dad, thank God, Baruch Hashem, he always gets his answers right.
Got my answer right.
If Simi asks for more details, then you can say, let's give Chaya her privacy. If you don't answer Simi's question, or you say, let's not talk about my sister, you're implying that there's negative information, and that is a vak lashon hara, right? A vak lashon hara is the dust of lashon hara. It itself is not lashon hara. You're not saying any negative speech, but you're implying that there's something negative. So let's say, for example, someone says, how is this teacher at school? And then you say, yeah, I don't really want to talk about it. Then you're implying that there's something negative, and that itself is a bak lashon hara, right? All right, that is a really, really good one. I think we'll go straight into the text. I don't think we did this one yet, so let's do it. We're still in Principle 5. All right, we finished Principle 4, I think, a couple weeks ago, and last week I didn't have the class. So let's get right into it. So far we discussed, so hopefully it's going to give us a nice summary here. I put this here, so I think it will. We discussed that it is forbidden and prohibited according to the circumstance. Forbidden and what is forbidden and what is prohibited according to what circumstances, right? This is from the Sefer Chofetz Chaim. Now we will discuss that there is nothing to say. Discuss when there's nothing to say on behalf of the speaker, when there is no intention of benefit except to demean his friend. So there's no constructive purpose, except for the purpose. There's no constructive purpose, just the purpose of the fact that they wanted to demean their friend, which is completely forbidden. The stumbling block is more prevalent on the and the Chofetz Chaim speaks about what is, I don't even know. I was tired when I was summarizing and writing this down. Okay, the stumbling block is more prevalent, and the Chofetz Chaim speaks about thought that perhaps maybe through this Hashem will remove part of the stumbling block. It is forbidden to shame one's friend for any insufficiency they may possess. This could be in wisdom, strength, wealth, etc. So if someone is lacking something, it could be intelligence, God forbid, we don't really know. And first of all, it's not for us to judge. This is purely based on opinion, right? Especially we see a lot of questions about shidduchim where they say, is this person a Talmud Chacham? Like, okay, what would make this person a Talmud Chacham? In my eyes, I feel like this person's very learned. They went to yeshiva. So in my opinion, they are, but maybe not according to your, to the way that you think. You would feel the same way about this person, right? So you can't say that someone's not smart, for example, God forbid. So you can't point out an insufficiency that someone may have. There's no difference if the information is true or false, and he exaggerates the truth, right? It's all forbidden. It is a great sin to spread an evil report, since he demeans his friend with falsehood, or even, and especially if it is true, right? We discussed that Lashon Hara itself is true information. Then we have Motzi Shemra, or otherwise known as Hotzas Shemra, and that is false information, a false report, right? Because we said that is what Lashon Hara is, if it's true. In Avos, it says, Lashon Hara is relating one's evils and blemishes and demeaning a Jew in any way, even if the demeaned one were indeed deficient. So even if we feel or we actually know that this person is deficient in some way, and you would like to demean this person, even if it could potentially be for a constructive purpose, you are not allowed to give over this information. So let's say I'll also use, for example, shidduch kol. It just very relevant in my life. It's something that I just read about. So if someone said, do you feel that this person is lacking with or like, do you think this person is, I guess you could say, intelligence or wealthy, and then in your heart you're like, oh man, do I want to talk negatively about this person? I cannot wait to demean them in front of this person making the shidduch call, even if it could have a constructive purpose, because we know when it comes to shidduchim, marriage matches, when it comes to someone's livelihood or work, there is a constructive purpose in giving over negative information, right? But if the information is not coming with pure intentions, and your intention is to demean the person, you should not give over the information. Even if it could be for a constructive purpose, you could always say, maybe speak to this person who knows them better than I do, right? And just hold back a little bit. So Lashon Hara is something which, when is known, causes someone to be harmed by body or by money, or grieve him or frighten him. And this also, they say, it's a monetary loss or grief. So if the information you're giving over could hurt this person anyway, especially when it comes to the information being an opinion, and all of a sudden, like, this person could have a really good marriage match and you just give over your opinion that's very negative, and it's and the engagement is broken off, God forbid, or they don't even get a chance with the person, then you have caused this person harm, and you have hurt them with your words. And then last year when I went through this, because I did this last year and then I started again because I was recording my classes. I asked a question, and if you're comfortable enough, you can answer. But the question is, how can we know if we will cause someone harm through our words? How do we know that? Or how can we prevent that? If anyone knows. You can even type it to me if you don't want to speak up in the class.
Well, I think that you can, if you think about it and it's going to cause you harm, and if it's going to hurt you, then if you say that, it would do the same thing to somebody else. So why would you want that done to you if you don't want to do that to somebody else? You don't want it done to you either.
Right. That's a really great one, is think about, like, don't do unto others what you don't want done to yourself. Right?
Exactly.
It's amazing. It's, if you wouldn't want someone to say this information about you, I even once posted the Chofetz Chaim Heritage Foundation. They have text, and they have these amazing quotes, powerful quotes. I want to see if I can find it right now, but essentially it is saying that exact thing. It is saying, think about what you wouldn't want someone to say about you before you say that information that you are about to say. And so, Ma, that's a great one. Does anyone else have another one while I look for this quote? I'm trying to find it. I know it's here somewhere. Let's see. So let me see. Okay. It says, before you speak, think, how would I feel if someone said this about me? It's always so good. So what I always say to this question, how I answer it, is we really never know what our words are going to mean, right? And that's why think before we speak is something that I try to live by. It's something that you may think is funny, might be taken badly by somebody else, and you had no bad intentions, but you really didn't think about how someone else could take the information. Or you're like, yeah, I mean, it's it could be taken badly, but they won't take it badly. And sometimes, we do think about it and we're like, nah, but it's not as bad as we think it is. But we really never know what our words can do, what power our words have, which is why I always, like to end this class around this section. This today's session, not the class overall, God forbid. But just by saying, we don't know what our words will do and how powerful our words will be. So to be cautious and cognizant of every word that we're saying, and especially when we're speaking about somebody else, and we don't have any bad intentions, but we're not really thinking much about what the words can do. I can say I have a great example. I was once speaking to someone, and I didn't really know if they were Jewish or not, but we were talking about I think it was peanut allergies, and I made a joke about a certain group of people, and I remember just her face, and I thought it was such a funny thing I said. I remember her face just went, "Are you serious?" And I said, no, I'm just joking. Like, that certain group of people is so not like, they're so not like that. Really, please don't take anything I just said seriously. And that really made me think of, wow, even though I think that's such a great thing to say, and if maybe there was a different crowd or a different person I was speaking to, they would take it well. But what I just said was Lashon Hara, not because of my intent, just because of the other person. We don't know how the other person is thinking or feeling, or what their biases are, or what we'll say that could harm somebody. We could think, oh, these people are friends with each other. Who cares if I say this about them, this story or this circumstance? And then for all we don't know how this other person is thinking or feeling. So we don't know. The answer to my question is we really don't know. So just be careful. All right. Thank you everybody for joining the class. A little bit shorter today because I'm prepping for tomorrow's Maishi House event. I hope that all the females here can join. And I'm excited to see you guys tomorrow. And whoever can't make it, to see you guys next week in the class. All right.
That's great. And just,
Yeah.
Mariah, quick thing. Daddy always says, know your audience. Right?
That's a great one, especially when you're a comedian, just in general, that is great advice. When you're giving a speech, everything, 100% know your audience. Ma, that's a great one. Thank you.
Welcome. Have a great evening, everyone. Great class.
Thanks, Ma. Bye.
Bye.